How's it going, everybody? All right. Now, you know, I don't own the rights to that music. I don't. But the man I'm going to cover today does. That's the legendary Peter Frampton. All right. So, how's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's fine and healthy. Hopefully if you're in a area where the hurricane was coming, hopefully you're all safe and dry. So, doing good. All right, good deal. All right, so we're going to do a little Peter Frampton review from the concert I went to last Friday. But first, I got to mention this is episode 16 already. Damn. So we got 16 of them in now today. And, of course, I got to do the theme song. We still got more rocking to do, bitch. Cha. That was like a little bonus there I gave, like a little thing. And you see I have my army of Eddies out here today. I don't know why I went with my army of Eddies. I did. I'm the set guy, and that's just what the set guy fucking decided on today. So, anyway, yes, Peter Frampton was at the Pearl Theater at the Palms. You know why the Pearl Theater gets mentioned a lot of times in this show? Because they have a lot of awesome rock shows that go to the Pearl at the Palms. So, yet another legendary artist does it again last Friday night. So August 18th, 2023, this year, of course, only 4 days ago. Great show. But before we get too deep into the show, I want to go over a little history. It's Peter Frampton. You know, he's been making music a long time. He's played in a couple other bands. One was called The Herd, which I don't think anybody really knows about that too much. Another one was called Humble Pie, which a lot of old classic rock fans do know about Humble Pie. He was with the band from 69 to 71. They made 4 studio albums and a live album in that little time. So 3 years, they're pumping out 5 albums total, including 4 studio albums. Which, a live album, they can just do a live show, make an album about that, no big deal. But to be able to write enough songs for 4 albums in that shorter period of time is pretty good. So, a pretty successful band at the time, too. Like I said, a lot of people still remember them that listen to a lot of classic rock. They're still like, yeah, we still love some Humble Pie and stuff. All right, but 71 is when Peter Frampton decided to go solo. He figured, I want to be the main dude. I wanted to kind of have more of a leadership direction. So he went ahead and started doing that pretty much till the present time. I'm not going to go into a lot of musicians and stuff that were here with him tonight, just because this is Peter Frampton. He's had many musicians over the years, and I will tell you pretty much I can probably speak for anybody who knows Peter Frampton rather well. He's probably had at least from what I've always known, he's always had very talented, awesome musicians. So, I want to focus more on him tonight. He was actually diagnosed with IBM, I believe in the 2000s. It was hard to find an exact date, so I really didn't want to put one, but I want to say in the 2000s sometimes he was diagnosed with this, which is autoimmune disease that affects his muscles. IBM means inclusive body myositis, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's like doctor stuff, and I'm only a massage therapist, so I know massage therapist stuff, but myositis is what I believe it is, what it's called. So he had to use a cane whenever he comes out on the stage to the show. But he sits down in a chair, and I'm telling you what, man, his fingers and his voice are all good still. And he even move around the chair a little bit. He'll even scoot around the chair while he's jamming to kind of use the chair, the rolling chair, because it was a chair on wheels. So he kind of uses like the chair to kind of not only jam, but kind of as to walk back and forth like he would if he had legs that were really, really good and strong still. But like I said, with the IBM, it's affected his muscles from the legs. And it's amazing, and he even said it was amazing, that he can still play guitar the way he can, and until he can't, he's going to keep jamming. He's going to keep recording music. He's going to keep doing live shows. But whenever he says this could be my last run through here, he's not lying. Because like he said, eventually there's probably a good chance the IBM will take over. But for right now, he's still going strong. So everybody, give a shout out to Peter Frampton, just to be able to be like, give the middle finger to IBM and say, I'm going up on stage. He was just recording blues music for like over 50 songs. He said him and other blues artists have been recording just recently when he's not touring. So, I mean, he like I said, as long as he can still play and sing, he doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's sitting down or standing up. He did not miss a note. It was awesome. He even has, he used his voice box that he used. He's famous for some of his songs that he used. He used, I believe it's called a heel talk box. It was HEIL. He used that back in the day until in 1988 he developed his own voice box called the Frampton talk box. So he's been using that ever since. He actually had a deal worked out with the heel. It's either heel or Heil. I want to say heel. With those people, and got like the be a necessary permission and stuff to be able to make his own without like them wanting to sue Frampton because he was making their shit. You know what I mean? He completely different design and shit, but same technology and all that stuff. So he didn't want, he just didn't want any issues. Understandable. He actually, when he discovered this talk box back in the day, when he was with George Harrison in 1970, while they were doing the recording sessions of George Harrison's first solo album, All Things Must Pass. A very, very good album. If you've never listened to it, man, it's a badass George Harrison album. A lot of emotions in the album, but really good songs as well. Songs that I'm sure once you hear some of them, you'll be like, oh, shit, I've heard this. I'm sure there's probably like at least 2 or 3 tunes like that on the album. And then the other tunes, there's some other tunes that didn't get radio play so much, but were just fabulous tunes. And that's when he discovered the talk box. It's with George Harrison in studio, because he was doing some studio work with George Harrison back in the day, 1970. So that's pretty cool. All right, so on to the show. The audience, nobody was yelling at each other, which was nice, but there wasn't a whole lot of people getting up too much and jamming. I was kind of more like, I wanted to, I honestly, I had a big day at work, so I didn't feel like jamming a whole lot. But if other people would have jammed, I probably would have felt like jamming more. I was sitting right in front of a couple really old people. So I was just kind of feeling out the vibe of the floor. I know usually I would get up and jam, even if I'm by myself, but I don't know. Like I said, I just wanted to chill for this one and really take it in, and I enjoyed it doing that. So I had a great time either way. The Frampton and the band, they didn't have no opener. It was just them. So we'll go right into the set list. The first song was Lying, which is a Peter Frampton tune. Then they did a Humble Pie tune called Shine On. And then he did I Got My Eyes on You. And then the fourth tune is called Lines on My Face. This is a dedication to one of the bass players that played with him from 1979 to like 2011. Where he took a little stint with Ace Frehley and Frehley's Comet in 84 to 90, but for the most part, anytime Peter Frampton needed him in the studio or on tour, John Regan was his bass player from 1979 to 2011. So they did a really cool version of Lines on My Face, including 2 badass guitar solos that Peter Frampton does in dedication to his former friend. They do in the background on the board, on the big board, they do like a reel of pictures and different scenes of John Regan with the band and hanging out with Frampton and different musicians, famous musicians and stuff, peeking their heads in photos and shit. Really good tribute right there. And then he had to do a really hardcore Frampton tune called Show Me the Way, which a lot of people would know Peter Frampton. That's one of his bigger commercial tunes. So even if you don't know Peter Frampton a whole lot, once you've heard that song, you're like, oh, I've heard this song before. I just didn't know who it was by. Well, that's Peter Frampton. And then they did a tribute to Hoagy Carmichael and Ray Charles with Little Georgia on My Mind. So that was really cool, the way they did that. And then they do a song called Crying Clown. And then they do a song called Nassau, which is kind of just like a really quick little instrumental that leads right into Baby I Love Your Way, which is, like one of them old, pretty much an older, slower rock ballad. One of Peter's bigger commercial hits from back in the day. And then they do where pretty much you only see Peter on the stage because they shut all the stage lights off except one big red beam light that's right over Peter. And he kind of just sitting there kind of looking at the crowd and stuff. And he rips in this guitar solo and goes right into the song, All I Want to Be Is By Your Side. It was pretty awesome the way they kind of did it. Like Peter came in with the guitar and the red light just beaming down at him. He was getting into it and stuff. And the crowd is getting into it more and more. The more Peter's getting into it. And then they turn on the rest of the lights and blam, the red light goes away. And then, like I said, into the song. It was pretty cool how they did that. It was a good time there. I like it. The next song he does is Can't Take That Away, which Peter Frampton's an English guy. So whenever he says can't, it sounds like cunt. And he wanted to stop the show real quick before he played the song to explain how the English people sound like when they say can't is cunt. Yeah, I can't do it. And so he made a quick little joke, and everybody in the crowd, or at least the people that were smart enough to get the joke and weren't offended by it, they got the joke, and we all laughed, had a good time. Then I probably hit my vape again. All right, so then song number 12 is called Black Hole Sun. Yes, the Soundgarden song that was famous in 1994 when it came out. Got MTV's Video of the Year that year. Black Hole Sun did. Soundgarden was huge at that time. And that was when people actually still bought CDs. So that song was huge. Even for people who weren't listening to metal, it was a big song. And Peter Frampton, they do an instrumental version of it until the very last verse. And then that's when Peter kicks in with his voice box. Fuck, man. Eddie's down, man. Anyway. Oh, shit, Eddie, man. Fuck you, man. What an asshole. Anyway, so he does the last verse singing, but with the voice box for Black Hole Sun. So that's pretty cool how he did it. And like I said, the people that know Black Hole Sun, they really got into it. That was one of the songs. Like I said, there was moments where the crowd was really getting into it, and you'd see more people get up. But then it was temporary getting up, and then they go right back down. It's like, oh. Like I said, but it was a great show. All right, number 13, I'll Give You Money. And he did on stage, Frampton and the other guitarist, the rhythm guitarist, did like dueling solos back and forth with each other, like looking at each other, like getting like, I'll fight you with this, you cocksucker. And then the other guy's like, oh yeah, you bastard, well I got this. And then he's like, oh, watch this, you fucker. And then he was like, well, I got more of that shit, bitch. And they were going back and forth for a while, and it was pretty badass. I enjoyed it anyway. And then of course they play the song that you can't not go to a Frampton show and not hear Do You Feel Like We Do, which was a song I came in on. For those who know a little bit about Frampton, of course you know that, that's Peter Frampton. Keep in mind, YouTube, I forgot to mention YouTube, that was right off your channel, so don't fist me. And then of course we're going to have a little encore though. He's going to come out. He's going to have a 3-song encore for us, which was badass. Another Eddie down, but I caught that one. No suicide for Eddie today. I seen you try to jump. Life isn't that bad. Don't do that shit. We'll get him help. Anyway, song 15, the first one in the encore. It's called 4-Day Creep, which is a Humble Pie song. In fact, whenever he comes out for the encore, when they come back out for the encore, which they didn't even really leave, they just kind of shut down the lights for like a second. It comes back on and he says, hey, being I can't really walk very well, it takes me a while to get back there, just come right back out. So we're just going to do the encore right here, which is cool. I like it when the bands do that. It's like, no reason for us to go back there. Let's just stay right here. We're going to do an encore right here. And he was like, let's do some Humble Pie songs. So they did 4-Day Creep. And then they do I Don't Need No Doctor, which is a good old Humble Pie tune. That's probably one of the more famous Humble Pie tunes, I'd say. And then to close the show out, a badass instrumental version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Yes, the Beatles tune that was written by George Harrison. Eric Clapton actually plays on the song. It's on the Beatles' Wyatt album. If you haven't heard this song, I just don't know what to fucking say at this point. If you haven't heard this song by now, I'll be honest. I mean, if you haven't heard the song, don't tell me you haven't heard it. Just go listen to it and then comment and say, dude, that is an awesome song. I've been listening to that for years. Even if you just listened to it for the first time a few minutes ago, don't tell me that, please. I don't want to know when you've listened to stuff. I just want to know that you're listening to stuff. I'm just joking. I wouldn't look down on you if you haven't heard the song, but come on. Come on, man. It's Why My Guitar Gently Weeps. If you're any kind of rock and roll fan and you haven't heard that song yet, just listen to it. Go on YouTube and listen to that shit. Beatles, While My Guitar. Once you start putting in While My, the rest of the title will pop up. You click onto that. You hit play. It's a great song. Another great review in the goddamn books right there, folks. Woo! And, of course, I got to close it out with saying I want you all to be good, happy, and healthy. This Saturday, Godsmack and Stained are going to be here at Planet Hollywood, the Back Theater, which was formerly Zappos Theater. Now it's Backed Theater, Bakkt Theater, I believe is how it's spelled, which I don't know what that means or who Backed is, but that's who has the theater now. So we will go see Godsmack and Stained. Last year, me and the son seen them separately. I mean, because they were on different tours at the time, but this year they're touring together, which is going to be fucking awesome, which means we definitely got a lot more rocking to do, bitch. Jeez. Not counting all the shows I got after that. It gets really crazy busy. September 1st and 2nd, I got Lita Ford. And then September 2nd is going to be Night Ranger and Stephen Pearcy. So it's like Night Ranger and Rat pretty much the same night. So that's going to be awesome. So we got a lot more rocking to do, bitch. We're not done. And I got we got a lot of shows coming up that I've already got tickets for. I've even got extra Shinedown tickets for anybody who needs an extra Shinedown ticket. I'm talking cheap. It's not going to charge you a whole lot. I got 2 extra Cult tickets still as well. Get a hold of me if you want to go to any of those bands. I'm dead serious here, people. I'm not joking. I don't have time for that shit, to be joking around about that shit. People want to go to shows. I got fucking ways to do it for cheap sometimes. Sometimes I run across some deals and I just happen to pick up extra just because. It's not like I'm trying to make any money off the shit, guarantee. You hear the price and be like, geez, that's it? That's it. The only thing is you're going to have to sit by me. But alrighty, folks. Love you all. Be good. Remember, we still got more rocking to do, bitch. A lot more rocking to do, bitch. God damn. We're not done yet. So keep spreading the word. Get it out there. I've seen a couple more people are subscribing. Thank you very much. But we still got to get this out here. I know there's still a lot of people that are missing some shit in their lives. Once they get a little bit of rock and roll, they're going to be like, maybe life don't suck so much after all with this rock and roll music in my life. Just saying. All right, everybody be good. Everybody rock on. Be good. Love you all. I'll see you all next Tuesday with hopefully a great Godsmack Stained review. Night. Everybody hold tight.